creating a perfect sequel to what we did before. It's a very difficult thing to do, so we had a bit more time and a bit more budget to go and figure out how to do this.
Shazam became truly a fan favorite. People loved that tone that David Sandberg was able to find.
Let's roll. Rolling.
And that's what we're bringing back.
Camera set.
I was excited to return to this world because, first of all, I love it. I think the characters are great. But this is the first time I've done a sequel to one of my own movies. So to step onto this set again was such a cool feeling.
Shazam 2, I was waiting for that script during the pandemic. And the day that it finally came in, I was super giggly. I couldn't believe it.
We set a meeting. We tell them we want to negotiate, okay? We offer up our powers in exchange for Freddy, but instead, we grab one of them, and that's when we really use that to trade.
Just talking to David as we developed the sequel, it was just trying to honor who the characters were, because you can make 24 sequels, but like, what is the sequel? That is the honest continuation of Billy's story, of Freddy's story in the Shazam world.
When you're doing a sequel to a movie that already did so well, it's nerve-wracking because you have to fulfill the expectations that were in the first one. And that's a big responsibility.
Shazam 2, let's go. Jack, how we feeling?
I got a monologue.
Do some of your lines for us.
There's spaghetti on the floor, nobody knows how to pick it up.
Hello, my name is Zachary Levi. I should have a little tag. And I play Shazam.
It's smoky in here.
Yeah, let's cut on that. So,
Was it daunting that David asked you to audition for the role again?
Yeah, it was very strange. I was like, I don't know if this is contractual, but I mean, listen, it's your movie, man. So let's figure it out. Fortunately, I still hadn't grown up. So it worked out.
Zach is still just a big kid at heart, which is why he's so perfect for Shazam.
I wasn't even alive when all this shit went down. I don't even think there were sandwiches. It was so long ago, you know? But now, in the present day, we have got sandwiches.
The energy of the character of Shazam, just so brilliantly played by Zach. It was so fun to sit across a table and witness that performance in real life.
I was very excited just to get everyone back together again, as well as to bring in some new characters. It's funny to see Zachary Levi against Helen Mirren because, I mean, he kind of towers over her, so you think it will be sort of an uneven dynamic, but Helen Mirren, she has such presence that she can really be intimidating.
You are very menacing. Like, you have a real presence. That goes a long way. For real. I don't know what everybody wants her to be or thinks she ought to be, but that dope, awesome, cool, chill, grounded, giving, generous, fun, intelligent, talented, beautiful, ageless woman that you see in movies and you go, I feel like, is that really her in real life? That's her in real life.
Come on.
With Helen, even if she's coming into just the second movie, she's a natural leader, a figurehead, someone everyone's kind of looking up to.
3, 2, 1, go!
He's not very powerful. I have to carry like that. I'd much prefer just go, toop, like, go away, little flea.
Can you have a look at that?
3, 2, 1, go! 1, go!
Man,
I love it.
Yeah, let's do another one.
Having walked into a set after she has left, you could feel like there's a different air, like everyone just learned something.
It's incredible fun. But I'm very jealous of my bad sister who gets to ride the dragon.
You thought you were invulnerable, but no, magic can kill magic.
With Lucy, she's really good at being intimidating, sometimes without even saying a word, with just a look. But I mean, it's funny that she can be so menacing on screen because she's just lovely off screen. Like, she was one of the most pleasant people I've ever worked with.
Lucy likes some fun. She likes a little dance. So's Rachel.
Rachel, I am in love with that girl.
Looking good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
She is beyond talented.
Lift your hands, nothing's happening, and then it'll basically be cut after that.
She's great. I mean, a big ball of energy.
She'll need this. Oh, my costume is coming undone. Never mind, never mind. Sorry.
Very friendly, full of love. We welcomed her into the family.
That was fun. It's unreal. I pinch myself daily.
everybody.
I'd only heard great things about this group of people, so, you know, I was just kind of nervous to infiltrate a homeostasis that had been established on the first one. I'm doing my best. But it was such a welcoming environment immediately.
Oh my gosh,
I'm so sorry.
I wasn't paying attention.
No,
I'm so
totally
sorry.
my fault.
No.
Are you okay? Yeah. Cool.
I'm okay.
You gonna walk me to class or what?
Walk you to class? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was about to do. I'm just thinking about how I could take that on. I mean, I'm really good at walking class.
Her relationship with Jack in the movie is just such a joy to watch because they have such chemistry. They had fun together, and you could tell that they got along so well off screen as well.
I've actually never been up here. Action?
My first
so
line
excited.
My first line is action.
It's been such a pleasure to work with her. She's a perfect actor. She's really, like, to a T, perfect.
Jack and I have become best friends on this shoot. Please.
I just bring it because I have my powers. And I also run a big house.
I mean, this whole cast is so tight-knit, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen before, where we just look after each other.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is the dynamic between Freddy and the wizard. Because you have lovable Freddy, who's this goofy kid, and you have this angry, bitter wizard.
That half-wit Billy gave you the powers of Shazam?
A little more sarcastic than Billy said, but hey, all good. Let's just get out of here.
No, let's just get out of here.
And I'm so happy that we paired them up, because we've already seen Shazam and Freddy have their dynamic, which is great, but now to also get this version of it really adds something extra to the film.
I look forward to seeing Jack throw him off. I'm sure Jaimin will be just fine and have the appropriate response.
The seed?
Yes, come, Jeff.
You know my name is Freddy. Stop f***ing with me.
I love that reaction you get to him.
Yeah, do that again. It's so fun to improvise with Jaimin because he's so good. I love him so much.
Working with Jack, that was quite fun. He's a loose cannon, but wonderful and naturally funny.
Jack is someone who will crack everyone up. Sometimes he will ruin takes because he's just too funny.
Take your powers, Billy. I hated that. Let's do it again.
So everyone loves him.
How should I just say, can just say I'm Mary, right? Because I'm doing both. I'm who I am right now. Well, I play Mary and Mary.
In the first movie, we had discussions at the start if we should just have Grace play both the human and the superhero Mary, because she was almost at the right age.
Ready? Okay. Double speed. Okay.
In this movie, it felt like she's definitely at that right age now.
I look like the rudest superhero in the world. Should I smile while I do it?
Yeah. It did make it a little complicated, though, in that it was so easy with the other characters to just swap them out. You know, like, okay, now we have the other person. But whenever she changes, she has to go away and put on the whole suit and put on new makeup and everything.
All in a day's work.
What's it like playing the superhero this time around?
Well, feels very super. What can I say? It was exciting for me because it's my first time stepping into the suit and them designing something new with me in mind. Cool. Such a beautiful job was done with the collar, and it's very elegant, and I love it. Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Did they put like a cooling system in there?
No. So, thankfully I have the skirt, and if it wasn't for the fact that we're super, sweat would be fine. That when you're in Georgia in extreme heat, you do work up a sweat.
It was funny because the first movie we shot in Toronto in the middle of winter, and it was so cold.
Shazam 2 is going to be in the Bahamas, guys.
We were sort of joking about, well, Shazam 2, we shoot in like the Bahamas or something. And what happened was we shot it in Atlanta in the middle of summer, and it was so hot. So everyone was sweating in their superhero suits.
We have like portable air conditioning units that are everywhere, thank God.
I'm going to go stand in front of the air conditioning, yeah.
The problem is everybody else is always really, really hot because of their sleeves. And I'm like, is it that bad?
You're supposed to complain about your superhero suit in superhero movies. You're supposed to be like, oh man, I can't pee in this thing. I can't, you know, but I can pee on my own. And I have. I don't need 4 people coming to the bathroom with me, like may or may not have happened on the previous movie.
Okay.
It was really nice to revisit the suit and make some upgrades because it wasn't quite detailed enough in the first one. And we've been able to go back and actually do some things that weren't possible. For example, the design of the boots. This was sort of the design I always had in mind, and we tried to do something like it in the first one, but they fell apart on the first day. And we had to quickly just design something new, something that would keep together.
Want to head home?
Looking like this?
But now that we had more experience and more time, we were able to build the boots of my dreams.
They're awesome.
Anytime you're doing a costume again, it's about developing the aesthetic, changing it enough so that it's interesting. Some of it was intensifying the colors of the costumes and intensifying the print and the gloss so that the camera could pick up on the details of the suit.
It feels like it's definitely more a part of the greater world.
The first suits were awesome. There were some things here and there. Like, as you might be noticing, this is an interesting little tidbit. This, which lights up, this magnetizes to here. But this practical light was built into the suit. And that meant there was like a bunch of wiring that went through the suit. And that was not an easy thing to keep working all the time.
3, 2, 1, go!
So now, if we want practical light, we just magnetize these on and then, computer graphics, and there you go.
What else have we learned, fam?
We extended the capes a bit. The first one, we sort of referenced the old school comics from the 40s, where he had a really short cape, but it felt like we needed something a little bit more modern this time, so we extended it a bit. And also just switch things up. Like in the first movie, he had a hood on his cape, which was from one version of the comic book. And this time it felt like, well, we already did that, so why not try something new?
See, better to test this out now, guys. Here we go.
That was one of the most exciting aspects of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, to get to go bigger, to have bigger stakes, to have bigger action.
Oh, yeah.
We just sort of expand everything that's happening around them.
The dragon's gonna land behind you. So you just go over here. As she hits that car, it's gonna flip. Use super speed over here. While that's happening, you look up, she shoots again. You duck down so she hits that car over there. That flips. Wow. Then you're gonna come out and shoot at her. Okay. Shoot at the dragon, shoot at her. But she blocks it with a staff. And then from there, that's when you're like, you're getting the idea. So dragon coming towards you, but then you take off.
So how much of this is all in one shot and how much of this?
All of it. This is a big one.
One way.
I love the scope of the environments in this movie. We go from Athens to the Rock of Eternity and the Library of Eternity to the Realm of the Gods.
The God Realm and the Throne Room in particular, was one of those things where it turned out bigger and more impressive than I sort of had imagined. Sort of a partial set because our locations are just so huge that sometimes you could only build partial sets. And even when it's partial, it's very big. Like it takes up entire sound stages.
Action!
And then you fill out that even more with the effects just to make a massive environment.
It's over, sisters.
You can put anything behind it. Look.
We're gonna do some blue screen work, and I think I'm gonna be at the fort. Oh my gosh. I haven't been in one of those before. Everyone's telling me I'm gonna love it. But I'm ready, I'm excited.
What's going on here today?
I'm on this thing. It's super comfortable. It's really comfortable.
What are you doing behind the scenes right now?
And action.
We use tuning forks, which is a harness that flies them up in the air and lets them lay forward and kind of gives them that flight, can have them bank and turn.
Shazam!
And cut.
Right there.
We use another thing called a parallelogram, which is kind of like a seesaw on steroids.
It's by far my favorite part of the job.
Flying is just great. A lot of the things that we talk about on set is like, oh, what's your flying pose gonna be? So some people have like the 2 arms up. I kind of have like this sort of thing. Grace, she does like a hands out. Unless you're like a superhero, you don't think it's like, what's my flying form gonna look like? So that stuff is always fun.
So it's just a twist and I'm kind of coming to camera. Yeah, oh, sorry, like you're coming in. Yeah.
It's all about timing, and it's very technical work.
Action. Action.
Back.
Action. And action.
But it's quite a workout.
And cut.
You need a strong core to do all these things.
I gotta take a break, sorry. I got no left. Got the left.
We go back and forth with stunts all the time on trying to figure out the best way to have somebody flying 30 feet or so. We have to then match up what stunts did with a digi-double. So all of our departments are so intermeshed.
We can do whatever we want now with CG. I'm not even really here.
Yeah, sure.
That's crazy. No. You're in the Matrix, bro.
Right now, we have this awesome set here, but if I load up these models, then I can show you what it's going to look like a little closer to the final. For this statue, they would have loved to build the whole thing, but it's going to be CG, so they can frame up for their shots, get all the actors in there, and sort of look at these CG things as if they're actually there.
It's based on an AR kit, and you can put in any kind of CG imagery into the real world. So what we've done is we've used that to import geometry into the location, just move the pad around to help establish eye lines for the actors or to give the camera operators kind of a sense of where the top is.
Oh, there's a lot of these guys, the unicorns.
On the set, they've actually given us references to how the unicorns look, and that's just like mind-boggling for me to have this technology that enables me to visualize what's happening in the scene so clearly.
This could be your handle right there, right?
Like that?
Yeah.
There's Team Unicorn. It's really fun. There's the aspect when our unicorns turn to leaves, so we had to sit on almost like a dunk tank device. You ready to drop?
Didn't I tell you a unicorn exists?
Yeah, didn't know they looked like this. That on action, we just kind of dropped.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good?
And all of us on our first go were a little like, whoa, that was a rush.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's exciting. And then we had to take after take, and all of us were like, yeah, and then getting pretty comfortable with the dunk tank experience.
The unicorn sort of way in there, and when she says hello, that's when you all see it. And then it starts charging. Running!
Throwing those Skittles was so cool because I got to say taste the rainbow on it. It's such an iconic line.
Oh yeah, that's impressive.
You might think you know what unicorns are. Nice and fluffy, sort of, ooh, it's rainbows. But we wanted to do something that you've never seen before.
We love a good scare. These unicorns are frightening, naturally, because David Sandberg is directing this, and he has a love for the horror genre. Give some kids nightmares.
David Sandberg, I've never met anyone who loves what he does so much. It makes me feel like we're in safe hands here at Shazam.
Yeah, we really want to see those eyes.
David's a very free director. He's not gonna move on if it's not working for him. But short of that, you're really allowed to play and kind of bring him ideas.
And dip out of the current, and then jab them through. Exactly. Right. Cool.
He's a brilliant director. He knows his stuff.
It's so beautiful.
And he finds joy in the littlest of things.
I want you to do a little like throwing yourself back.
We love David.
Action. And cut.
As a Southern European working with a Northern European, we're very different people. I mean, Latins, we're, let me hug you, and hi, and how are you? And he's like, hello?
Monster.
He's the opposite of a noisy director, striding around saying, do this, do that. He's very, very quiet.
Here we go, and action.
has a great relationship with his wife, has made films together with his wife. I think the two of them are probably quite a creative force together.
Working with my wife, Lotta, is what I'm the most used to. It's sort of how I got here. We made a little short film together called Lights Out that Hollywood discovered and then wanted to make a feature of. So that's sort of how I learned to direct people was with Lotta. So I'm very comfortable working with her because that's sort of my first. And I have this thing where I want to have her cameo in every movie I do.
You can't believe any of this is real.
But she died in the first one, so it's like, ooh, how do we do that?
Charging up the car. Background, action!
But changing her hairstyle and changing some things about her, and it's like, well, now she's a different character. This is actually the first movie where my cameo is more than just a voice or someone in lots of makeup. You actually see me as me, and I even say a couple of words in Swedish. I got to do a little stunt work in the movie, which was a lot of fun. It gives you a new sense of what you're putting your actors through. It kind of hurts, it's kind of difficult, but it's a lot of fun and it's something I could have done all day.
I came in yesterday to wardrobe, put this thing on again, looked in the mirror, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm Billy Batson again.
We have a cameo by Michael Gray, who's the original Billy Batson from the 70s TV show Shazam.
Action. Holy moly! Who expected almost 50 years later I'd be doing something in Shazam again? I never thought it. I love it. I already told him he's perfect. Thank you. And after all these years, it makes me feel like I'm in my 20s again. Obviously, I'm not, but I feel like it.
Wonder Woman was in the script from day one, and I was very excited, but I also didn't quite believe it. I was like, are we really gonna get Gal Gadot to do this? And I didn't really believe it until we were actually shooting it.
It was an amazing thing you did.
She was so pleasant and nice to work with, and she was so game to do anything.
Stick to saving the world, kid.
You work on a movie for very long, and you don't get to see the final result until the very end of post-production. It's almost like seeing the movie for the first time and realizing that, oh, this did actually work, and it's such a relief. I love watching that final battle and feeling something. It's like, wow, I'm actually getting invested, and that's such a great feeling because it's been such a long road where it's been hard to really know, like, is this gonna be good? Are people gonna be invested in it?
Action.
But I think it's gonna work.
I'm so proud of our whole Shazamly and what we brought forth in this one. It's a really groovy group of people with lots of love.
I just wrapped my superhero suit a couple days ago, and I had a little emotional moment taking it off because I was like, you know, hopefully I'll get to wear one in the future, but it might be a different one, and there'll never be another Shazam Fury of the Gods.
I'm gonna miss everybody. I'm like, when is part 3?
I mean, the amount of people that have come to me and told me after I saw the movie, I just felt better. And I think that's one of the coolest things about making movies, you know, that we get to entertain people, that we get to transport them to another world.
That's amazing.
And they get to have that little bit of escapism. Yeah, it's great. It's a groovy job.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, in a superhero movie, you have to have post-credit scenes. And we have 2 of them. One is where we poke a little fun at a different superhero universe.
The Avengers Society.
And of course, we had to check in with Savannah and Mr. Mind. And once again, I get to play Mr. Mind doing some voice work.
It takes me a very long time to get places, okay?
They were such a big part of the first movie, and you want to know, like, what have they been up to? So it's really fun.
Welcome to the Rock of Eternity.
The Rock of Eternity started as kind of like this brooding, ominous place with these demonic statues and not enough light.
Hi, come on in.
Now in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the kids have taken over the Rock of Eternity and made it their own.
We pick up with our Shazam, our heroes, in our new and improved lair, which is so dope.
Years have passed, and the kids were given a house. It just happens to be an endless cavern of wonders with video games, hoops, and food everywhere.
It's very much like a teenager's hangout spot.
It's become a co-ed fraternity with all the stuff a Superboy and girl would want.
There's a beanbag chair that Mary sits in quite a bit. It's almost impossible to stand up out of it. And it actually became a bit of a joke amongst the crew. Different people tried sitting in it and then standing up and found that it was challenging. It's very hard. Sorry.
Sorry.
I got eaten by the beanbag chair.
It was just such an awesome set to be on, just to walk around there and take in all the details that the set decorators put in there. Like, you'd constantly find new stuff, like, oh, look at all these comic books over here. Oh, it's like a bubblegum machine over here, and like old school arcade machines.
What our set deck and production designers did was so spot on.
We did a lot of research about modern, fun tree houses, and we took that concept to another level.
The thing that kept coming to mind was like the kids had taken over. So we had this idea of decorating the 7 deadly sins. They're not scared of them. So what if you put goofy things on them and they'd painted them and put silly signs around?
Freddie probably contributed the neon layer sign.
We came up with the concept that maybe they just found cool letters on the street from different signage, different graphics that were around, and they kludged them together to become the word lair. It's a really fun sign. We decorated the throne area. We gave each of the thrones a little bit of character.
Our personalities are all over this place.
I don't know if it was Darla or Eugene. Definitely wasn't me, but there's a lot of pink.
My throne, now it's lived in by Darla, so it's got like little quilted things on the side that are pink and purple. Just really cute stuff.
Mary likes to read, so we put a little table next to her throne. She had a place to put her books and a little reading light.
In the first Shazam, we got a little glimpse of the room of doors, but now we've really expanded it.
Well, this seemed inevitable.
Every door goes to its own location, like different dimensions, different planets or realities.
We did a little bit of dressing on some of the doors to make it fun, like beware, no trespassing, beware of dog, something smells. We hung a little gas mask and put a little clothespin out there, just in case the person going through that door would have to be suited up before they went through.
Porta potty.
The Library of Eternity is a new location within the Rock of Eternity.
Shut up.
The library was a tricky one because going back to the script, it says it's a library in a cave at the end of the day. So what does that look like? They've got to go into that room and go, wow. You know, you've got to have some wow moments in a movie like this. Started sketching a mixture of the stone and these books. We're going to make this conical staircase with rock and books. So it was a challenge for everybody.
It's the most magical place within the Rock of Eternity, where you have Steve the Pen,
Whoa!
who's a sentient pen who basically possesses all the knowledge in the world. You can ask him anything, and he will know the answer to it.
We needed a place for Steve the Pen. So Steve is on the table in the center, which is the focal point of the set. That table needed to be filled with a lot of character. So we created a lot of antique papers and antique parchment and scrolls to spread around the table.
Thanks, Steve.
I think it came out really well from the journey it went on, and it looks fantastic. It's one of the satisfying things about doing this job.
We just stayed on set. I mean, it was like the ultimate trailer. It had everything we needed.
It was hard to get him off the set.
It kind of doubled as spaces where we hung out in real life.
One of my favorite sets I've ever been on, of any project I've ever worked on.
It's amazing.
You see this?
That's so cool. How you doing? So, this is your house. It's great.
I would actually love to live in there. It's literally every child's dream who becomes a superhero.
Hey everybody, it's Zachary Levi here, and I am super pumped to report that we have officially begun shooting Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Man, I really wanted it to be Shazam 2 Electric Boogaloo. I thought that would have been the most awesome. It's fine, Fury of the Gods, whatever. I mean, I'm electric, for God's sake. I shoot electricity. And we could have done like a whole breakdancing sequence just for fun.
Behind the scenes, oh, we're getting all of that behind the scenes.
Oh man, Zach's the best.
He's hilarious.
He's so enthusiastic.
Zachary Levi is an enthusiasm machine.
Hi, everybody. Very excited to be working with you all.
I was really nervous to come on this set, being a sequel and being a new kid. It was very jarring to think about coming into this already established group of friends who were like a family. And the second I landed in Atlanta, I got a text from Zachary Levi that was like, hey, we're hanging out, come see us, come hang.
He's incredibly friendly and joyful, and he's head and shoulders taller than everyone except Ross Butler.
He's always on. He's always being funny. He's always cracking jokes.
Zach Levi is a 14-year-old boy trapped in a very handsome man's body.
The other day on set, I was looking at everyone in their suits, all these adults, and I went, they're just as silly as the kids. Because Zach is silly. And it was such a funny thing where I went, man, it's not much different.
I suck balls at this.
Why do we always have to play war games?
Between takes and setups, he would just hang out there with the others and play video games.
I'm playing a kid. So, yeah, I mean, that's like, aside from the fact that I love playing video games, it's a great time killer, it also kind of keeps me in that childish play mode.
Method acting. That's really what it is. It's him, you know, getting into his character.
People don't realize just how committed I am to being a method actor. I hate video games, but I play them because I have to.
Oh man. Brings a giant speaker everywhere, is always playing music, making sure everybody's having a good time.
No way, shut up! Did I just save you while you were listening to this song?
Us naturally, we start dancing and we start singing and we start making requests and we just get really into it.
I just think music makes life better. I do. Life deserves a soundtrack. Every movie deserves a good soundtrack. Why shouldn't every life get a great soundtrack? Put this in the movie, guys. Shazam!
He has this really beautiful, childlike essence to him, and that he has always. It's not something that he puts on for the character. He has that.
He just loves being a superhero. And you can see that joy shine through up on that screen.
He's been waiting for this his entire life as well, you know? And he's a huge superhero fanatic growing up.
When you're 9 and you go, oh, I want to get into movies, it'd be fun to pretend and do all this crazy stuff. This movie specifically because Zach is the purest version of experiencing what I had hoped doing this for a living would be like when I was a kid.
I love you guys. I'm so grateful that you are my amazing crew in Atlanta. I'm so honored that we got to do this together. Thanks, bye.
I look up to him immensely. I love him to death, and he just is the reason that this environment is as positive as it is.
Forgot all about my family, didn't you, goddess?
No, human. You forgot about mine.
A great comic book movie is only as good as its villains. And in Shazam! Fury of the Gods, we have Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Ziegler playing the Daughters of Atlas.
Genios tolos.
Knowing that two amazing, established women who have done incredible things with their careers were gonna play my sisters was crazy.
It's so great to have Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. It's such a privilege and an honor to work alongside people of that caliber and of that stature.
It's great to have characters as powerful and as authoritative as the characters that we play.
These are extremely powerful mythological Greek gods who are not from the comic books. And the biggest challenge yet for our Shazamily.
My father was Atlas, Titan god of stamina and strength. You will never be a true god.
Vesper is absolutely outraged that the power that her father wielded has landed in the body of this child.
We wanted to aim high. We're talking about, we want to get someone like Helen Mirren to be a bad guy. That was the dream person to do this. We offered the part to her, and she said yes right away.
I very happily signed up to be in this because I really enjoyed the first Shazam. I try to play it as absolutely straight as possible. You must treat this material with the seriousness that you approach Shakespeare with.
Helen was insistent on doing her own stunts. Both her and Zach loved just being up on wires and beating the hell out of each other.
Until fairly recently, women didn't get to participate in that side of things. It's really changed in the last 5 or 10 years, massively. I'm a bit of the older generation, so it's a great treat for me to be able to participate in that milieu. I'm very jealous of my bad sister who gets to ride the dragon.
I defeated my traitor sister. You think I won't destroy you?
For Calypso, it's not even really about the mission, it's really just about revenge.
Calypso is somebody who has a very strong hold on people, and she's very devoted to her mission along with her sisters, but I do think that she takes it one level too far.
I remember Lucy asked for the perspective of Calypso.
Henry was open to seeing that she needed a path forward and not to just kind of come in and cause chaos. An important part of being an antagonist is to have a real mission. She has a purpose, and she breaks off from her sisters for that reason. And Henry was able to develop her a little bit more in that direction, which was helpful.
Don't you see what you're doing to these people?
I do. And what I see is just...
I freaked out when I heard I was gonna be acting with Lucy Liu. I had a doll of Lucy Liu when I was a little girl.
Lucy Liu was also just a dream come true to work with. You know, I've been a fan of her since forever.
In the scene where we kidnap Helen into the porta potty, a table smashes into a wall. Actual pieces were flying. Lucy would come over and let people know, watch out for that. And I said, thank you. And she goes, I've got your back. I was like, thank you, Lucy.
I really feel like knowing that you're safe and you're in an entrusted world, it makes a big difference. As a child, I read the comic books. So being in this world and having that backdrop of DC is one of the most exciting things in my career.
Calypso, Hespera, and Thea.
Perhaps you should be human.
And Thea goes undercover to meet Freddy so that she can trap him and finds that these people aren't all terrible.
See how she betrays us.
She just did an audition like everyone else.
Hi, my name is Rachel Zegler, and today I'm going to be reading for the role of Amber while sitting on my floor. I hope you enjoy.
As far as I knew, her name was Amber, which I knew wasn't real. I did a chemistry read with Jack Dylan Grazer.
It would be nice to not have someone, you know,
breathing down your neck.
from like the moment you wake up.
They were perfect together. She hasn't been in a lot of movies yet, but I mean, she really has that star quality.
David called me directly on my cell phone, and I answered because I thought it was my empanadas being delivered in the morning, and it wasn't. It was David Sandberg calling me to tell me I'd gotten the part. Unreal. I pinched myself daily. Helen and Lucy have been nothing short of wonderful and given the greatest advice.
Hearing that Rachel and Helen Mirren were going to be my sisters was incredibly exciting. We became very, very close.
Clip his wings, Anthea.
We've bonded together and made a little team. It's been really, really good fun.
Helen, Lucy, and I have a group chat, and we took Helen out for her birthday, and the fact that that's my life is pretty crazy.
Yeah, yes, that was great. They took me out for my birthday.
It's as if we knew each other for such a long time. We were able to spend time together as if we were sisters and get to know each other and to share. It was fantastic.
Being a young woman in this industry is really scary. Helen and Lucy offering to give me advice on things that I don't know if I'd be even comfortable asking anyone else. It's been such an incredible journey with them.
That was very natural and one of the best connections that I've ever had in a working environment. To this day, we still continue to be in touch with each other.
The three of us are having the time of our lives. Like, who can say you come to work and put on this armor and fight a dragon? It's really, really cool. And I don't think that fact is lost on any of us.
We've been having a really great time.
Yes.
I love that it's so female forward.
So often on film shoots, you don't get to spend time with other women.
I'm really excited for this generation of young girls to see it's cool to be bad. And I think like these badass women doing the damn thing is inspiring.
The villains in this movie are not just super villains. They are gods that are nearly unstoppable.
We're certainly not sort of girls whimpering in the background. We're very forward in this film.
I don't want little girls to want to destroy the human world. But I want young girls to question why the human world is the way it is and then make change.
All right, fam jam, let's jump in.
You guys ready?
Hi, I'm director David F. Sandberg, and we're about to break down Shazam! Fury of the Gods. So this is one of the big early scenes in the movie where we get to destroy the Ben Franklin Bridge.
It's gonna break!
We had all these cars and all these people here. These cars are rigged to break their windows and jump up off of the ground. And then we added, of course, with the effects, the bridge on the sides. Let's take a look at what it looked like on the day when we shot it.
You're on the set of our famous Ben Franklin Bridge.
There's a lot of CG work to create the bridge itself. Basically everywhere you looked was blue.
I'm working with this new app, and what it does is it brings the virtual environment into the real world. As you can see in real life, there's no actual bridge here, but when you look through this, you can see the bridge.
In post, we will add big metal structures, crushing vehicles, people just narrowly getting out of the way.
This is my wife, Lotta, here. And she's about to have a very bad day. We're actually pulling the car, and that's a real dump truck behind her that actually smacked into the car. So my wife here is doing her own stunts. Let's take a look at our big motion control shot.
The bridge, that was kind of a high point for me. Visual effects kind of comes up with a previs that works hand in hand with David to kind of go, I want to see this, whole assemble shots. We basically took that data that the visual effects gave us and created all the movements with each one of the characters.
You have this camera that can do the same move over and over again. So we have Mary come in, and then when Eugene flies in, that's a separate take. Freddy, he's being like pushed in. Darla's just doing a little turn. And the final take, Pedro, he's just jumping in place. If you pause right here, it kind of looks like they're all there at the same time, but they were not. Okay, let's take a look at the school rooftop. Freddie's about to find out that Anthea is not who she says she is. We needed a sunset that lasted all day long, so that's why we used these LED screens.
If it's just blue screen, none of this color is spilling onto it, so you don't get this orange color hitting on the side of my face. The DP can capture exactly what he wants to see in the frame and have it be the final pixel product in the movie.
Okay, let's move forward now. Diedrich here is about to jump off the rooftop into a bunch of pads, which was something that Jack did as well. When Freddie gets picked up here, I think that was Jack's first wire stunt. He just loved it.
That was so fun.
He was fine doing that all day long. Let's take a look at the Philly cheesesteak place. This always cracked me up, and it was something I really looked forward to shooting. We wanted something very Philadelphia, where Shazam meets Hespera.
Sam's Steakhouse was a difficult location to find. There's nothing like that in Atlanta. Atlanta's very green and like some rolling hills in town. Philly's very flat, not many trees.
But the Sam Steak in particular, that was a quiet street that we could make look like a busy street. Part of my job is like imagining what it could be, not what it is. For instance, Shazam gets slammed across the road. What's he going to hit? We had a building that was under reconstruction, so there's a lot of things for him to fall into.
The character of Shazam is just so brilliantly played by Zach. It was so fun to sit across the table and witness that performance that I'd enjoyed so much on screen before.
I remember sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing like a head-to-head scene with Dame Helen Mirren. Helen, you're the best. I've told her this. She's so cool.
They're both such good actors, and they play off of each other so well. Let's go back a little bit. So this table here is an actual table that we pulled into the wall by a cable with such force that it just sort of shatters. The cheesesteaks actually flew over the building. This is the power of elements, and the idea is that she's affecting the water inside their body and making them unable to move. Let's take a look at our big unicorn scene. We had this idea that unicorns probably like dark places, so we wanted to shoot it in this parking garage. Now the camera only went to like 150 frames per second, which is pretty slow motion, but we had to sort of add to it. They stand a little bit still because you want to really see the unicorn opening his eyes and realizing what that is.
Taste the rainbow.
On the day we had a big full-size unicorn head that I was hoping was something I could puppeteer, but it was just way too heavy, so we had to have it on a stand. But it was great to have there for the kids to interact with. And then if we keep playing,
We're gonna need more Skittles.
I love doing this monster mayhem. To shoot that, we had people in gray suits. We hired really tall people. We paint them out and put in the CG creature afterwards. It helps a lot with sort of the interaction and just with how you frame the shots. Now, when they show up here, the way you shoot people riding unicorns is that you build a little saddle type thing that they can ride on a blue screen stage. It looks pretty badass when it's done, but when you're shooting it, it's very silly. Let's take a look at the big baseball stadium in Philadelphia. So this is my favorite scene in the movie. The big epic showdown between Shazam and Calypso.
We end this now!
Lucy here, when she's riding a dragon, the way you shoot that is we had a big robot arm that she sits on that's sort of programmed for various moves.
Technology has advanced so much now that in a couple of weeks you can have a pretty good section of a dragon sculpted from scratch. We were given a 3D model from the visual effects team to scale, and then we could start manufacturing pieces of the robot.
Our special effects team input the X, Y, and Z data into their system that drives this robotic arm. It's fully articulated, but it's huge. It's for building cars.
This shot of him rising up here was an early one that I did a storyboard of, and I was like, this needs to be a trailer moment of him just rising up into frame, surrounded by lightning, about to fight a dragon. This is Zack on a tuning fork rig where he's being almost like puppeteered so he can roll and be upright or be horizontal. It's quite a workout. You need a strong core to do all these things.
And cut.
We actually do light up his eyes, which sometimes happens in the comic. We never saw it in the first movie, so I wanted to have that badass moment here. This right here, this is probably one of my favorite shots in the whole movie. I mean, whenever you just do silhouetted things in a lightning storm, it's gonna look great. Let's move forward here. As a reference here, when the dome disappears, I found a lot of footage of soap bubbles filled with smoke that you pop in slow motion, and you sort of see the outer bubble go away and the smoke just pouring out. And then we get to destroy the tree. The monsters, the dragon, they were all created of the tree of life. So when they die, they do turn into leaves and tree-like material. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and maybe now you can watch the movie again and see if you can pick up on all these details.
Shazam!
It was really fun to explore the mythology elements of Shazam, Fury of the Gods in a way we've never seen before. The villains in this movie are not just supervillains, they are goddesses with godlike powers that are nearly unstoppable. Ultimately, we landed on mythological figures who are not from the comic books.
When I was originally cast, a lot of people online were talking about whether or not we were going to be the three faces of evil in Greek mythology.
Now we can plant the seed and restore our realm. Oh, we planted in their realm.
We kind of are. We're just three separate entities now.
Atlas had 3 daughters. Calypso, Hespera, and Thea.
It's a combination, obviously, of the real Greek mythology, but bound in with all of those mythological ideas.
Greek mythology is throughout a lot of DC DNA, I think, because I've got so much Greek god and demigod and titan blood literally in me as Shazam, and this is a world we play in. It would only make sense having Wonder Woman tied into Greek mythology.
Wonder Woman was in the script from day one. I was very excited about it, but I was like, are we really gonna get Gal Gadot to do this? And I didn't really believe it until we were actually shooting it.
You brought this world back to life. Maybe this time gods and humans can learn to live in peace.
It felt so right for this movie because she is a god. Her father is Zeus, which is one of the powers that Shazam has gotten.
The wisdom of Solomon, strength of Hercules, stamina of Atlas, power of Zeus, courage of Achilles, speed of Mercury.
Whoa! Guys, look, this is what the name means, which is way cooler than what I thought it was, which is just a bunch of hot garbage, so.
We got to play around with a lot of mythological creatures in this movie. We have harpies and minotaurs and cyclops and all these monsters running amok in real-world Philadelphia. You have this dragon guarding the Tree of Life because the Tree of Life has these golden apples that are the seeds of life.
Rise from the pit!
dragon, Layden, who I like to say was my childhood pet who turned against me. It was really freaking cool.
We made him out of wood, which might seem a little strange, but he is a part of the tree of life. So it made sense to have him be made of wood, and it makes for a very unique dragon.
Its scales are more reminiscent of bark, so it has kind of a wooden texture. Its wings are sort of like a leafy membrane rather than sort of a skin membrane. It has a blue glow to it, which will help tie the magic of the Tree of Life and the Staff of Atlas and show this kind of magic from the god realm.
Although he can breathe magical fire, his real power is the power of fear. Designing the look of like creatures is one of the really fun things. And it was fun to do little homages there. I'm a big fan of Ray Harryhausen and his stop motion work. And we have a Cyclops in here that's sort of an homage to his classic Cyclops. And we have evil, sort of angry unicorns.
Within the mythology of Shazam 2, it's supposed to be the most fearsome of all the creatures. When the Shazam family find the nest of the unicorns, its best analogy would be sort of the nest of eggs from Alien. So something kind of slimy, creepy, a little bit alien and unknown.
Hello.
They're big, they're black, and the horn they have is something they use to like impale monsters. You've never seen unicorns like this.
They did a great job of mining fable and then being able to curate it and shape it to fit into our world and universe.
It's really fun to play with people's expectations of mythological elements. And I really love doing something unique for this movie. The cast has always been like a family off screen as well. They started calling themselves the Shazamily.
What is happening right now? All or none, guys! I was very excited to get back together with all of the cast I love so much, and our Shazamily genuinely is a family.
Let's do one more.
You know, a couple of years later, coming back to do a sequel, it was really like a family reunion.
Do you have a favorite moment from?
Favorite moment from set? It would have to be being with all of the kids and with Faith and the foster kids. I mean, we all have so much fun together.
We do have the best time.
No, I was really nervous to come on this set being a new kid.
I'm so sorry. No, don't be sorry. I'm sorry.
And coming into this already established group of friends, but it was such a welcoming environment immediately.
Rachel, what was it like meeting the Shazam family?
I was really scared to infiltrate the family, but then I realized I fit right in and made some best friends, and it was really, really wonderful.
Nice. Who's your favorite?
Freddie Freeman.
Rachel's my new best friend. She's so amazing, and I was a fan of her before I met her. We talk about theater, so it's been such a pleasure to work with her.
Hey.
She's so talented, and she's a perfect actor. She's really, like, to a T, perfect.
Action!
I really love these guys. Everybody, for the most part, from the first one is here for the second one. So it's the entire family, and Marta and Cooper.
They rebuilt the house from scratch, and we were all again together. The kids were like actually a little taller. I organized pancake nights and movie nights and take them to escape rooms and go to the movies. We just got lucky that we connected with one another. And those bonds are so ingrained in our relationship. Cooper was great in collaborating with me in that.
Whole thing we made, no Shazamming indoors. I believe that's helped out a lot.
Who is your favorite kid?
Whoa, whoa! Who's my favorite kid?
Yes.
I can't answer the question.
It depends who leaves me the most food, so it's usually you that leaves me the most. I missed my kids so much. I missed each of them. Everyone's changed in the last few years and just sort of discovering themselves as actors in a more fine way.
We've all grown a little bit in very different ways. I know that I'm coming in definitely a little bit more mature because on the first one, I felt like the baby of the group, and now I'm like, okay, now maybe I'm like a middle child.
Oh, God, they cracked me up in the first movie, but it's almost like they're funnier now. Like we can play off each other. Every scene when I get to work with the kids, it makes me feel 100 times better than any scene I've done.
all or none. That's the rule. Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
It's actually, family at heart, and it shows all these different things, and it's also a very diverse cast. Everybody can see themselves in this family.
You guys ready?
Shazam!
It's kids just trying to find a home. The parents are amazing human beings with great integrity. And this film is a great aspirational film.
You got to work with the kids a lot. How did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun?
Well, let's put it this way, a bunch of annoying kids. No, I had a great time. We kind of laughed, and I guess most of us were looking forward to, coming together again and fun with the family.
There's a theme of belonging, even if you're not blood related, and the relationships between each of the kids and the foster parents.
The difference between this movie and other superhero films is the attention to the family unit, the found family. Even if you think you don't belong, you can still find people that will love you for who you are.
I love you, Mom.
Me too. A lot of children, especially, that don't have that in their lives, have seen themselves reflected in a film of this category, and that's game-changing.
Jack, what does it feel like to be back in action with the family?
I always feel loved, and I always feel like giving the love, because the Shazam fam is my real fam. I love these guys.
That's nice.
It's such a privilege and an honor to work alongside them, and I'm constantly full of gratitude working on this movie. It's just great to work with people who
Feel very comfortable right away. It feels good, being with the kids.
And the adults, and, we hang out outside of work and
Have like dinner together.
We're just like chilling and stuff, and so we actually went to Disneyland once.
We're all already just so comfortable with each other, and we all know each other's personalities. So
to reconnect with this family, it excited me because this is definitely
the most fun I've ever had on any set, honestly.